Hello everyone and welcome back. This is game number 3 of the series between BustRobot and Logan James, and they have chosen the map Slumbering Settlement, which is just absolutely tailor-made for crabbing. And obviously, as we can see, this is BustRobot's perspective, and he has some units crabbing up here through the trees. We'll see if Logan James has a similar response. Both sides sticking with what works. Logan James got a nice katana core supported by cavalry and matchlocks, and BustRobot's line has been pretty much unchanged since the first map, with the 2 bow samurai, the matchlock ashigaru, and the katanas, though of course they are missing that nodachi that we saw in the first game, but still a very strong composition. And actually, this is a great idea, and I never really pointed it out before, but what he's doing over here is he's putting his cavalry off in the forest crabbing, you know, as you would expect. There's also a Yari Ashigaru with them, which is actually a really great idea because cavalry tends to meet head-on in these crabbing situations, and having a Yari Ashigaru there to help out your cavalry is just absolutely huge and can give you the advantage going into that crab battle. So looking at the buildings on the map, we've got a morale here in the middle with the shrine, the workshop on the west, and the farmhouse in the east. So I think it'd be worth it for both sides to try and take as many buildings as they can, especially since the battle's focused around the middle here. I think both sides could easily take the buildings on the sides. Be a great job for a light cavalry. If either side had them, I don't believe any do though. So that's too bad. One great guard here we see for Logan James. I think that's it for his great guard, unless it's off crabbing. If I saw one great guard out in the ocean, if I saw one great guard out here in the open on this map, I would think, oh, there's got to be one in the trees. Kisho Ninja trying to get around, but gets spotted by the great guard. So another Kisho Ninja attempt by Logan James just fails outright. Don't get any bombs off before being charged by the great guard. And there they go, they're broken. Great guard lost 2 men, so 750 koku down the drain there for the Kisho Ninja, but a worthy effort. I always like seeing ninja action. It's always so fun to watch those guys come out of nowhere and do some real damage. But the map isn't waterfalls, so we can't expect that sort of thing. Matchlocks again. Interesting matchlock skirmishing we've seen in this matchup. It's always fun to watch. I was really actually surprised at how well Logan James did in the very beginning, or BustRobot, excuse me, did with that one matchlock Ashigaru. Managed to pretty much take out 2 of Logan James. And with the matchlocks, it's really about how wide you spread them out, because only that first line gets that shot off, so actually in length they were both about the same, so there wasn't really much of an advantage for Logan James despite having 2 matchlocks. Got 1 bow Ashigaru and 1 matchlock Ashigaru. The 2 bow samurai, of course, like I said, so the skirmish advantage is definitely in BustRobot's favor, which he should probably be pushing pretty soon, because if he doesn't, the shrine's going to be captured here by Logan James, which would be huge. It's a great building to have, and there it is. Logan James has the shrine. Doesn't look like he's going to try for the workshop. I wonder if he's going to try... You know, you could probably put your Yari Ashigaru just on the edge here and still have him hidden, which I would definitely try and do. No cavalry seen in the forest on either side yet for BustRobot. I wonder what Logan James has up his sleeve. But I'm wondering if he's thinking, well, they expect me to crab. What if I don't crab? And I just put everybody in the middle. That'd actually be a pretty good strategy. Bring plenty of spears to fight off that cavalry once they realize there's nobody in the forest. It could actually work quite well. We're going to go back to the melee, or the missile skirmish here. And hardly any casualties have been taken. Actually, this bow Ashigaru, well, never mind. I thought he had 150 for some reason. 3 men down. Matchlock Ashigaru taking quite a few casualties now, down to 101. Matchlock Ashigaru for BustRobot is at 116. Last of the fire arrow remnants going into the matchlock Ashigaru. We'll see if either side can get a good shot off here from the matchlocks. It says they're both firing, but who will get the first volley off? Anybody? There we go. First volley is fired into the matchlock Ashigaru. Now it's 78 men. And actually, taking my advice, the Yari Ashigaru is going off and getting the workshop. And this crab action actually could work out quite well, as they haven't even been spotted yet. But the Yari cavalry is over here, maybe suspecting such a thing. There they go, out of the forest. They have been spotted now. Yari Ashigaru is running. Let's see what he's going to try and do. Maybe this Yari Ashigaru will just be holding down any kind of infantry so that the cavalry can get into position. The general is way off on this other side, though, so they might not be able to get a good general snipe off. But look at this. Yari Ashigaru is chasing the Yari cavalry around, it looks like. Spreading out wide, and let's see what he's going to do. Actually, it's going to do a nice job of just kind of cutting off the area that the Yari cavalry can run through, and he's going to run right into the front of the Yari Ashigaru. Maybe not such a good idea. And the Katana cavalry, what a great attack they can have here going into the Katana Samurai. But the Great Guard is countering the Yari Cavalry. It looks like that will get cleaned up. Katana Cavalry is pulling back. Yari Ashigaru is still fighting. And does some decent damage to that Yari Cavalry. Meanwhile, the missile battle is still raging. The Bo Ashigaru are shooting into the matchlocks, but there go the Yari Ashigaru, but they sort of outlived their usefulness, seeing as there was no cavalry here in the trees, so not a big loss there, losing that Yari Ashigaru. Yari Cavalry is shaken in battle with the Great Guard. Is actually really overachieved right here. This Great Guard is at 25 men, so did a lot of damage to that Great Guard, and definitely worth it to take that unit almost off the field. That leaves 3 cavalry units, not counting the general for Logan James. 4, excuse me. Nope, actually I'm right, 3. Katana Cavalry coming back for round 2, hitting the... Oh, look at that charge into the matchlocks. Just takes like half the unit right there. Going into the Katana Samurai too, and taking actually quite a few casualties. This early action has done quite well for BustRobot. Has really thrown his line in disarray. And if he followed it up with a melee attack right now with this infantry line, I think he would could just potentially crush Logan James here, as he's very disorganized on that one wing. Same with the Yari Ashigaru on this side, and as I was kind of thinking, Logan James didn't crab at all, leaving both the trees open to ambushes, but it looks like he was prepared for it and had units ready to react. Yari Cavalry being... Nope, they're just kind of reforming here, but slight advantage here to BustRobot getting the big charge off and having slightly more men in the unit when it happened. Great Guard is moving too. And it looks like almost all the missile units are off the field for Logan James. He has 1 Bo Ashigaru with 42 men, and BustRobot is basically untouched. There's some cavalry moving up as well, though, to try and maybe... And it looks like he's moving his melee lineup right now. He can maybe catch him in the micro and try and get the general here. But both sides are moving the infantry. It's not going to be very much micro on this side at all. Who will get the better of the infantry engagement. We're watching now. This Katana Samurai at 55 men, so that early action did quite a bit of damage. This Katana Samurai down to 91. The other 2 are untouched. But not his whole melee line moving up. There's 1 still in the rear there. Nodachi's coming in on this side. Going to try and get a big charge off against the Katana Samurai. Glancing back. And the general has been hit by a Yari Cavalry down to 39 men. Decent charge there from the Nodachis. Killed about 20 men. No bonsai, but not bad. General down to 9 men for Logan James. This battle's happening in so many different places, and Logan James just seems to be a little flustered right now. His army is just spread out in all different locations, and BustRobot's much more organized and keeping on top of his army movement a little better, and that's going to be huge in this coming battle. And oh, if he was microing here, this Great Guard has a clear shot at the general, but it looks like the Yari Samurai, advancing rapidly, will be able to hold that down. It's unfortunate. He had a really good shot to pretty much end the battle right there if he took out the general. Yari Ashigaru, look at that. Setting up a wall here that the Yari Cavalry cannot get around. Walking into the spear wall again on that side means that BustRobot definitely has a better engagement right now. And the general is wavering for Logan James down to 1 man and not dead. Always hate when that happens. But let's see, he'll be going down any second now. Yeah, there he goes. General is dead for Logan James, and that's going to send mass wavering along his line. 1 unit goes. The other one is wavering. A charge here from the Yari Ashigaru would be huge, but as there's no hammer, or no anvil for the hammer to strike against, may not be huge. But there is wavering, and Logan James' army is just in disarray here. So BustRobot was able to pick him apart with micro all across the field, hitting him from so many different spots. Logan James doesn't look like he could just keep up in that battle. And BustRobot looks like he's going to be the one walking away with the win here and moving on in the loser's bracket. Katana Samurai moving up now and hit this Katana Samurai. This side's completely done, and he can now collapse in on what's left of Logan James' force. It looks like BustRobot's going to pull this one out, and coming down from a 1-0 deficit always takes some guts, but it's happened before, and it looks like it's going to happen again, as Logan James' army is pretty much entirely gone. Mass wavering. All of his units are wavering now, and that will be the end of him. There they go, all routed, so BustRobot takes a convincing win in Game 3 to take the series. See you back on the main menu. You know, looking back, it was actually a great idea for BustRobot to go over and get that workshop, because if you have Yari Ashigaru up in that front line, all the defense and armor you can get really helps, and so having that extra defense and armor really just bolsters that front line, makes it that much harder to wear down, and that much more draining on the enemy. But it looks like it was the general fight that managed to win that one, and BustRobot did a good job of just having so many different attacks all over the place. And Logan James, he just couldn't keep up. And so out micro definitely there by BustRobot. 2 strong armies going against it, and when you have 2 good armies like that, it's the micro battle that wins it. And And BustRobot has an impressive showing there in Game 3 after a good showing actually by Logan James in Game number 1, taking the series in his favor there. BustRobot did a good job of coming back and taking the win there on Slumbering Settlement. I love that map, Slumbering Settlement, with the crabbing ability on those forests there. It's just the stuff I love seeing. So BustRobot took full advantage of that and takes the series 2-1. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next match.